On May 21st, Bungie announced that they would be ending live service updates to Destiny 2 after June 9th, with one last update marking the end of an era that for many gamers was over a decade long. The announcement has been met with an outcry of support for the game, going as far as petitioning for Destiny 3 to be greenlit and announced. Among social media, YouTube, Reddit, and more, there is a huge push for players old and new to reinstall Destiny 2, log back in, and spend their precious time on a game that many have considered a dead game for years. Except now, the very doctors at the operating table have called it, despite their best efforts to save a patient beloved by such a passionate community. With the end nigh, why would anyone heed this call? Who would download a horse long beat to death? Why take up the space on your hard drive? I mean, who in their right mind would go out of their way to spend not only their time, but in some cases money, on a game that is quite literally... Yes, I reinstalled Destiny 2. But why? It's a legitimate question. Now, before you start typing in the comments about me being a Destiny stan, let me set one thing straight. I am. But I think I'm in a large group of people who came into the game skeptical and were charmed into becoming a longtime fan. The only reason I even gave Destiny a chance is because I got a beta code with my white PS4 pre-order in 2014. I had never played Halo, not once. Not even for any reason other than I grew up with PlayStation instead of Xbox. So when the Halo people were making some sort of MMO RPG space game, I didn't really care. But the beta code was free, so why not? It's not like I would fall in love with the game so hard that I would become obsessed, play every single day, and convince all my friends to play. Right? Right? I played vanilla Destiny a lot, and I kept playing through all the expansions, and then Destiny 2 on launch day with the PS4 Pro bundle, and then into the following expansions, which turned to seasons, all the way up to the final shape. I wasn't the most committed player. I've barely touched endgame content, and I've only raided a few times, and I could at no point ever tell you what the meta build was. I have an endless list of quests I'm never going to complete, and truth be told, I'm not even familiar enough with the lore most of the time. Thank goodness for My Name is Bife. But I've always played, when the game was great, and when it was not so great. Even when the not so great times became the majority. Eventually, when a game becomes more than itself, there are a lot of outside factors that affect the experience. One of the largest factors, especially with a game as social as this, is the community. Destiny has a vast one, but that doesn't always mean that everyone is jiving. In fact, I think that there are many chapters of time where the community, being at odds with each other, kind of dampened the whole experience. Lightfall was so cool and so much fun, and it was sullied by transphobic assholes, and I will die on that hill! It's no secret that Destiny 2 has been struggling. It seemed that around the time of Beyond Light, myself and many others saw the final shape as the end game of the Destiny universe. The end of not just a book, but a series of books, filled with chapters all leading to this climax. This was solidified by Bungie themselves calling it the end of the Light and Dark saga. The games don't exist in a vacuum. We can't ignore that Bungie has been acquired by Sony, or that since the acquisition, the game slowly found ways to ask for more and give you less. More microtransactions, more ambitious crossovers, but less content. Fewer people at Bungie even dedicated to Destiny 2, as other projects, namely Marathon, became priority under Sony's direction. Under this regime, player counts were suffering. Morale seemed to only bump up the month of a new expansion, and overall, the game became less and less worth playing. After all, my roster of games was expanding, and my backlog was ever growing. My time and attention had become up for auction, and Destiny 2 was more strapped for cash than ever. But all that aside, as someone who enjoyed the story itself, I couldn't help but wonder what was next after the final shape. After all, this was a huge conclusion to a story I had been wrapped up in for 10 years. So many hours played, so many expansions purchased, so much of my life dedicated. You can imagine how upset I was to see that the roadmap for plans after the final shape was just boring. More than that even, it seemed murky, unclear, like Bungie themselves wasn't even sure if it was going to happen. Now, the emotional whiplash of no clear idea of what's to come for a game that you've invested so much in is enough to make any player go pick up another game after living in this world for 10 years. Not to mention that within that time, there has been repetitive missions, a horrible new player experience, paywalls, not bringing back sparrow racing, confusing currencies, unclear path to character advancement, not bringing back sparrow racing, way too many activities, lore being buried in text boxes of a gun you dismantled, layoffs, more layoffs, somehow more layoffs, and for the love of the Traveler, can I just have sparrow racing back? They're bringing back sparrow racing. End the video. My point has been made. Okay, sparrow racing is coming back with the update on June 9th. But that's not why I'm coming back to Destiny 2. Bungie is seemingly tossing a Hail Mary with the last update, with upgraded gear, updated activities, new abilities, and the return of many favorite weapons. The Director will be front and center instead of the Portal. Even patrols will matter again with a new event type. And this only scratches the surface of what they're doing. I mean, seriously, the update is going to be massive. I'll link some of the resources down below because it really seems like Bungie has been listening the whole time and fully intended to give us what we've been asking for. But it's not why I'm coming back. As I clicked install on Steam for a game that was my first download when I switched from my PlayStation to my PC, I felt a little conflicted. I had seen people online asking for one last hurrah for June 9th, but it's been so long. There's been so many changes. Would I even recognize my old friend anymore? I thought about it, and I believe I've finally identified why I've decided to play again, and why you should too. Free! The June update is free. It's called Monument of Triumph, and all the quality of life things that Bungie is doing to make the game fun and exciting are accessible to all players. Now, the expansions will still need to be purchased, but the last expansion I bought was the Final Shape, and you can still do a ton of activities without the new stuff. Besides, I've heard that there's going to be a massive sale in June for the expansions with like bundles and whatnot, which means hopefully it's easy to talk your friends into playing, even if it's just for the free stuff. Which brings me to my next point, Unity. With the concept of fire teams and clans, and then activities like dungeons and raids, even the PvP aspects, Destiny 2 is a group game. You can most certainly play solo, and I've got a ton of hours logged by myself. But a huge factor in me reinstalling Destiny was a longtime friend of mine asking me to. We have countless hours logged together, and he told me it would mean a lot to have his fire team back together. How could I say no? We've even started using in-game comms for the first time ever, just so we can make connections with other players. I mean, you have to think, with the state that the game is in, the only people playing are real fans of it. The haters are too busy working on their next mean comment for Reddit, and the toxic tryhards don't really have a real reason to stay. So that leaves us to run the show, and it feels super. Which leads me to my last point. No comparison. There's no game like Destiny. Anthem tried. Warframe is awesome, but it's not as comparable as people make it out to be. Every time I come back to Destiny, I feel super. The guns hit. Abilities feel strong. Missions make you feel like you are that guy. We've killed kings. We've slain gods, all while feeling like I can't wait to do more. Discover another catalyst. Finish another quest. Earn more drip. I jotted down my ideas, and then I realized the real reason I was willing to play Destiny 2 again. Fun. I'm playing to have fun. It's why we play games. If you're playing a game and you aren't having fun, try a new game. Maybe try this one. I've been having fun for a long time now, and I intend to for a little bit longer. If you haven't already, go install Destiny 2. For you. For us. Because it's not about the corporate greed. Forget about a roadmap. And stop thinking about what the point of playing is and just play. And sure, maybe you'll only play for another month. or a week. Maybe you only come back for a day or even an hour. But in that time, fall in love with this world once more. Be amazed for just a little bit longer. Become legend one more time. Eyes up, Guardian, because you're a hell of a wrench.